The fun thing about the show is that it crosses kind of many of the different disciplines that he was involved in his lifetime. My name is Dakin Hart, and I'm the senior curator at the Isamu Noguchi Foundation and Garden Museum, and I'm incredibly excited to be standing here. We're in the middle of installation still for Isamu Noguchi, A New Nature. The idea of the show is to look at all of the ways in which Noguchi was trying to harmonize our relationship with the planet, not the planet as it existed before we became capable of making cities, but the planet as it exists now, as a built environment, because really most of it now is a built environment. The thing about Noguchi is that he viewed us as part of nature. He understood us as part of nature. He didn't think that the solution to all the world's problems was to get rid of mankind. He just thought that we needed to reintegrate our consciousness into nature, and to do that using the materials of the things that are around us and that we use every day. So when he looked at a city, he saw something that could be made more organic, or that was already a different kind of organic. So that's really what this entire show is about. And in a way, the centerpiece is what's behind me, which is this waterfall and ceiling from 666 Fifth Avenue, big office building in the middle of Manhattan that, like all other commercial real estate around the world, is changing over time. And the building has undergone a recent change which necessitated the removal of the waterfall and the ceiling. And so we own it now, the foundation, in order to protect it, but really more in order to see if we can't find another way for it to exist into the future. We want to give it a chance at a second life, this ensemble of things. It's worth talking about what it did in the office building. This office building was the first kind of big, modern, modular office building in New York City. And it was quite famous at the time. And this is before the sort of the drudgery of office work became axiomatic. And Noguchi, looking at this lobby, decided that the thing to do was to try to naturalize it. And the whole concept was to kind of create a buffer between the busyness of the city outside, Fifth Avenue specifically, which even in 1955 had regular traffic going up and down and honking taxi cabs and all of that. So he was trying to kind of create a bubble so that once you stepped inside the hallway to the lobby, your experience of space was transformed. So it's been an amazing adventure. Maybe White Cube's the only gallery in the world that could have done this, that has the kind of space that we have here in the South Gallery. But as vast as it is, it still wasn't big enough for the ceiling. So the ceiling occupied really the entire footprint of the office building. And it was an elevator lobby. So you were never really conscious of the vastness of the space, but it's almost 8,000 square feet total, including the spaces where the elevator banks were. That's what, roughly 800 square meters. So, you know, an immense thing. We're showing about 70% of it here. So it's been reformatted so that it would fit within the gallery and that we could establish its proper relationship with the waterfall wall. So this is sort of, relatively speaking, more or less what it was. It's a fragment, of course, of what it was in the lobby, and it's been removed from its space. But the idea is to show it in a way that will allow an architect or a developer or somebody who is interested in making a special space somewhere else to think about maybe integrating this into it, either building something around it or adapting it for an existing space. And from the point of view of the foundation, we're incredibly excited. We view it as kind of a test case, because site-specific works, in order to survive into the future, some artists would prefer that they go away. If the site goes away, then the work should cease, and that's totally legitimate. But I don't think all artists feel that way. Noguchi is somebody who really, his way of looking at things encompassed the reality of change. That was just fundamental to the way that he thought. If you look at the museum's garden changes every day in a million ways. Leaves fall and rocks move and trees grow, and so it's, you know, it's a conception of sculpture that accepts the inevitability of change, even up to, I believe, and including the fact that commercial real estate is constantly churning. So lobbies get redecorated, office layouts get reworked, buildings get resurfaced, buildings come down and are replaced by other buildings. So if we want these objects, these wonderful things, to survive beyond, say, the 50 years that a specific office building will exist the same way in a place like Manhattan or London or Hong Kong or Tokyo or the other places where the churn is just at a very high rate, we have to be willing to think about how to give them opportunities to persist and survive.